welcome to Paranormal Unplugged. My name is Kevin, this is Dave, and this is Steve. How you guys doing tonight?
Excellent.
So fine.
Good. Well,
So
we're gonna
far.
get so far. We're gonna get started
doing?
tonight. I'm doing okay.
Okay, just making sure.
Yeah. So let's get started tonight. I think we need to dabble into people that are debunkers. They're always going around and saying, "I debunked this stuff." You know, the paranormal communities go into places and say, "Oh, that's not real." So
It's edited. It's fake.
yeah, it's amazing. I mean, I've sat there and watched a lot of videos lately and gone down that rabbit hole where I see these people coming out and say, "Hey, I've never been to that place, but I know it never happened. You can tell it was edited." How my thing is, I'm gonna point the question to you guys is, how can you go to a place that you've never been to? All you saw was the video, and you turn around and say, "Oh, it's been edited. It's been I'm debunking this because I saw it, and I know they didn't have that feeling. They didn't know what was going on there."
Like the time you wore that Bigfoot outfit and ran across the street, and I found it in your
Don't
closet.
tell nobody about that. My God. So, I mean, I find it's kind of hilarious. You got these people coming out and debunking, let's say, for instance, this candle's floating in air by itself. I saw the string. Were you there in person? Were you there? Were you there in person? Did you see the video? Did you see an edit in the video? How can you tell from going out there? So what do you guys think?
Well, I know for me, my first question, and this is just because I don't know the answer, is how easy is it to tell if a video has been edited just by watching it say it's been uploaded to social media somewhere, as opposed to having your own copy of that?
Well,
and running
there
it
is
through your
software out there. There is software people can use to check the videos out.
Okay.
They've done it for time after time. There's a lot of people that have photography knowledge and they know what to look for if they cut film and all that stuff like that. So yeah, I can see that. But claiming from a video overseas and you have not been ever to that place, I don't know how you can do that.
Yeah,
You don't have to be overseas. You can be just right here in the United States and never been to that. Like I've never been to Bobby Mackey's. Does the porter of hell actually reside down there in the basement or wherever it's at?
I mean,
I don't know. I'm not going to comment on it because I've never been there. Why would I comment on something I've never been?
Yeah, because my thing is that if you've never been to a place, you've never had the feelings, you don't know what the environment's like, you didn't have the same experience that person had. And I know from places I've gone, I mean, I look at it this way. If I have an experience, great for me. It's my personal experience. If I haven't gotten on footage or anything else, it's still my personal experience. Right. You can turn around and say, "Oh, it didn't happen," but you don't know that. You can't tell me from me having an experience that it didn't happen when you only seen a video or heard about it on social media.
How can you debunk someone's personal interaction?
Exactly. I mean, that's my biggest thing is you got people coming out there saying, "Oh, well, it never happened." Well, how do you know it didn't happen? Were you there? First question I asked them, were you there? No. Well, how do you know that person didn't have that experience? How do you not know what happened at that time and place? I mean, I could say it's pouring outside right now. Somebody could be across country going, "Oh, it's not raining there." How do you know? Did you see outside? Did you know where we're at? Can you tell me that it did not happen? It is my perspective of what I've seen and what I've saw and what's going on in my environment that I have that feeling that this would happen. I mean, that's where I get it. You can't turn around by a video, come up and say, "Oh, hey, that didn't happen. I saw that chair being pulled by a filament. I saw that sheet being pulled across the room. I know what happened from there." You don't know. I mean, somebody could be sitting here watching us right now, and the glass behind us, there could be somebody standing behind us and we don't know about it. But are we going to say to you, "Hey, it didn't happen"? We don't know. We'll have to go back through and check and see what it was and see who's in the area that we're at.
Possibly.
Possibly, huh?
You're fired.
He's so androgynous.
Steve is in one of those moods tonight, guys. I apologize that you have to deal with his sense of humor tonight.
You're fired.
He's old. Just remember that.
But he's surgically.
You're fired.
Surgically impaired. Yes, he is surgically impaired. Steve,
Did you hear that? Yeah.
You're fired.
I've always been fired.
No, actually, I find it ridiculous on some of the claims people make on video and I don't know, anything. You can't believe everything people say. That's what everyone does in this field. They believe everything people say. I always say, get it from the horse's mouth, and then take it from there. Yeah, I agree with you. Going even either overseas or here in the United States, if you've never been to a place, how do you know that didn't happen? You don't know. Yeah, unless you have proof. Is that? So just keep it to my headphone. Sorry, okay. So yeah, personally, go there and check the place out. And the best thing to do is you're going to debunk it. Go back and try debunking it yourself at the place. Don't just say you're going to debunk it. Go back and put yourself in the same situation those people were in and how they did it and see if the same thing happens. See if you can get a different result or you can figure out why it happened.
Well, that's the thing. Rather than say it after watching a video or hearing an audio clip, go there, experiment, do it yourself, be in the environment, feel the energy if need be.
I had stuff
it takes.
That I've done back when we did the show that people went after my video and said, hey, I think I can debunk that. And they tried every which way and couldn't debunk it.
They went after your video kind of like they went after our TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
that's funny.
Isn't it?
That's funny.
A week? Less than a week.
I mean,
Sorry, just making that one. That's all.
I've been to places that I've seen, everybody's gone seen on television. I went to Tombstone, and some of the things that they said it happened at Tombstone, I'm sitting there going, well, maybe it did, maybe it didn't, until I went there and had my own experience, the things that I've caught on video. And I'm sitting there going, well, this place is definitely has some kind of something happening here,
Right.
And nobody can take that experience away from me. I don't care if you're a debunker and you debunk thousands of videos, thousands of pictures or whatever else. You cannot take that person's experience or what they felt.
Look at it on the opposite side too. If they do debunk it and they are correct, it saves you money from going to that place.
Going back.
And going back
Yeah.
and finding out, heck, well, that's what caused little Jimmy to jump out the thing over there, whatever. So, what you got there, Davey? You got any questions?
Just telling everybody to give us a like and a share and let their friends know we are live right now.
Yeah. Hey, so far, knock on wood, there's no problems, no spirits of activating their senses tonight.
You got time.
Yet.
You're fired. You're fired.
Knock on wood. Knock on wood.
But what I was going to say, so that's what I would do. Definitely go back, check the place out yourself, do your own investigation. Don't just go and look at a video that someone posted and say it's not true, it didn't happen. Well,
I know as an investigator, I am more likely to believe a skeptic or a debunker, which usually they tend to be the same, but some are not, I'm more likely to believe you when you say that was not real, or if I know you've been there and you did your own research and you went to the place and you conducted your own experiments as opposed to just watching someone's video on social media.
you're right about it. In a way, the thing is, there's nothing wrong about being skeptic.
Not at all.
Because that helps actually. But there's a time where you can't be skeptic and just not look at anything else and say everything is not happening. It's this reason, it's that reason, it's this reason. There's that. Because believe me, there are skeptics out there that said stuff like that to me, and I said, right, well, how did this happen? And I to this day still haven't got the answer. So there's time for you. So to debunk, what's that? Some more?
Dress is moving by itself.
Yes, it is. Well, I guess somebody's here tonight.
Well, you are in a haunted room, so
This is true. Right, and that's the thing. Don't tell people it's fake just for the sake of sticking with your I'm a skeptic theory, you know. But skeptics are a good thing in that when they go someplace and they try to debunk and can't, then that legitimizes
Shut my phone off.
the data that was collected at that place by investigators. You know what I mean? As opposed to, like you were talking about, just watching a video on social media and saying, "Oh no, that wasn't real." You went there, you did the research, you did the experiments, and guess what? You couldn't recreate it.
Mm-hmm.
Can we say for absolute it's paranormal? No, there are no absolutes in this field, but what we can say is it wasn't natural.
Exactly.
And that is what makes that data that much more valuable.
Very true. I mean, that's one of my biggest things because I consider myself, I have to have it proven to me to see something. I mean, you could tell me, hey, this happened here. And I'm like, okay, cool. I want to see it happen.
And what did I tell you?
And that's right. You have to have an open mind.
If you don't have an open mind, you can't just go, if you're in paranormal investigation, you can't just say, a spirit's got to prove something. A spirit don't have to prove shit to you.
Mhm.
And they're not gonna. Actually, if it's just gonna do anything, it's gonna push them away. Think about it. It's like,
They have limited energy.
yeah, right. So, if you have an open mind and you start believing and say, hey, maybe this could happen, they'll probably do it for you.
Mhm.
But if you're going to stare, I have paper, when we table tip, there's a lot of people who don't believe in table tipping. That's their prerogative. They can believe in any way they want. I'm not going to say, hey, I don't like you if you don't believe me. I don't believe in it. Right? But they'll sit there and say, well, it's not moving, it's not moving, it's not moving, it's not moving.
Why do you think that is?
Now ask them why, and there's because I'm telling them to move, it's not moving. Well, it's not going to move because I'm telling it to do.
It's not a puppet on a string.
That's right. Exactly. Spirits aren't puppets on strings.
And that's the thing. Like I say, spirits have limited energy at any given time. If they have a message they need to communicate or something of that nature, they're not going to waste it on somebody who's not even going to believe that what they're seeing is real in the first place.
Just like if you go to a big place, let's take Waverly Hills for instance, something huge, and you go there and they said like room so and so. I've never been there, so I don't know the rooms. Say 309. Something. Little Johnny he always talks to people, and you go there and you spend all this money, and Little Johnny never says a word to you. Does that mean Little Johnny doesn't exist?
Nope.
It doesn't.
Nope.
It does not. I mean, there's times when we filmed the show, Paranormal After Party, that we went out there, we filmed for 3 days for 22 minutes of film. And there's days we go in there and nothing would happen in the building. But we go in the next night and all hell would break loose, and we get all this evidence. And then the next day, possibly nothing again. So you never know. I think it's got a lot to do with the atmosphere in the room, the way people are feeling, the way people are acting, If you go in there, I'm one of them. You guys know me, you're around me a lot. I can be sweet and I can be.
He can be a prick.
Sometimes.
More often than not. All right, so let me ask this question while we're on the subject. Have you ever gone to an investigation to a place where there's been reported evidence and been skeptical of that evidence?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. I've had a good, I don't want to bring names up, a skeptic, everyone knows, actually helped me out on a picture. And you know what? I said, how's my face getting distorted in this picture? And the person said to me, did you have a light to the right of you when you took that picture? And I said, yes, I did. And I go down and take that picture again with that light there again. And sure enough, I got that deformity in my face from the light. Because the lens of the phone was trying to pick up the light of the flashlight instead of my face and made it look distorted. So there's times you got skeptics that can help you. And this guy's really good in photography too. So I appreciate his help.
It's always to have a good person around that's a skeptic because it keeps you leveled.
Right.
It doesn't, it's not like, oh, there's a ghost there. There's a ghost there.
Everything is super. Everything's a demon.
Oh, that's my favorite. That's another subject.
John Ruggiero. What's up, gentlemen and Steve?
Hey.
Hey, John. So he's got a kicker. He's got a kicker. Sorry, I get him back on him.
Yeah, I'll get on his podcast and I'll just give him a hard time. He ignores you though. He doesn't. He just says, "Hey, how you doing?" That's
No, he never ignored me. Maybe you does.
No, he doesn't ignore me. He just has somebody. Just has a little one that turns around and goes, "Hey," and he gets all upset.
But anyway,
so anything on your agenda right now?
me?
Yeah. anything-
Oh, I got announcement for the bash, but I can't announce it yet. So the people that are waiting for the bash announcement, we're waiting on an agreed contract right now on something. So that's why we haven't posted yet. So we're agreeing on certain things yet. So it'll be out soon. Because I know a lot of people around here watching saying, "Hey, you posted this, but you didn't." And you're teasing us, but we have to be in negotiations.
He's really tight-lipped about it. He hasn't told me either.
I know.
We told everyone, but
I'm the mushroom.
Dave over here.
I'm the
Dave,
mushroom. I'm kept in the dark thread a lot.
Dave has no clue. Everyone knows but Dave. So, we have any
He's a
questions out there?
stepchild.
No questions yet.
No questions
You
yet.
sure you scrolled up? So we're not listening down
I mean,
here. Dave,
You're fired.
Yeah, Dave.
You're fired. You're fired.
I can't put up with this hostile work environment. I'm out.
You can't get up. You're stuck there.
I actually kind of am.
but anyway, on the agenda for tonight is if you, let me say, how do I want to say this?
Carefully.
He's
I
old.
gotta say it's the right way. You can hang myself.
Yeah, we gotta make sure we bleep anything comes out of his mouth.
I don't have the bleep button here. That's with the new studio when it comes.
Oh, that's right.
We're just waiting.
The
We're waiting for new studio to come here,
Well,
folks.
here's one. How do you feel the paranormal field has changed?
Oh, that's a good one. That's sort of where I was going actually. The parent. That's why I said I wanted to say it the right way. It's changed from. Let's see. Oh God, it's changed dramatically. With cons, there's more paranormal events like crazy now, and
Yeah.
shows. I don't even know what shows we're going to have on actually anymore. All the shows have pretty much been
Going to YouTube.
YouTube. Yeah, they're going to YouTube. So there's a big change there. A lot of networks have dropped a lot of the shows. And here's the problem with that is because these guys, there's shows that deserve to be on there for years and years and years and years. They're pioneers. And there's shows that were taken off that I believe should be put back on that I like Haunted Collective was one of them. And I'm a big fan of but I like John Zappis. I like the way he did investigations. And there's other ones that they've had teams and all they did is the same team but changed the name of the show. So there's teams that had 4 or 5 shows out there, but just under different names. I think you need to get different people out. You need real people, real paranormal people on the shows. When we did our show, yeah, and John's one of them on there saying, "Was that really a show?" I know John's going to come popping. I know John's on here, but he'll say, well, actually, when we did the show, it was looked at it that way, the way John had said it one time. But we were serious. We had a lot of comedy. We did stuff that no one would do on their show. Sort of why we're doing this show. It's unplugged. We're going to talk about things that people are scared in the community to talk about. They don't want to talk about it. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to bring it out. The only way things get solved is if you bring it out and you talk about it. If you sit there and go, hush, don't say that, because you're going to get repercussions. They're going to attack you like our TikTok already. Our TikTok's been taken down already.
Less
In
Less
episode.
than a week with one video uploaded, and all it was a picture of this. Our TikTok has been permanently
Banned. So we're already banned from TikTok.
So we did appeal it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, we did. I'm used to being banned for the stuff I do on my TikTok because it deals with people don't want to see and people are like, oh, it's a.
You got haters out there.
I got haters.
Oh,
I have haters. Man.
So when you have a hater out there, they'll say anything to TikTok, they'll say anything to YouTube, they'll say anything to get you off.
That's where I get into the debunking side of it because it's the same thing. If you're able to sit behind a computer and punch something out there and not know anything about it and just put it out there and you can't call and talk to somebody about something, then that's the problem.
Right. Well, the way the changes in the field I see, one is the cons. There's a lot of cons out there. There's a lot of them going out there. A lot of paranormal events, which is flooding the system. It's flooding everywhere. So,
Right.
excuse me, I was little allergies kicked in there. But the other thing is with that, we need new shows. A lot of shows are going to YouTube. So it's changed. The way people investigate has changed big time. The equipment, a lot of drama, and I think that's what's changed this field. So it's competition. It's become not a way of communicating with each other or finding evidence together or working together with different teams. It's hating or who can get to the top faster is what it's become. Who can get to the top faster?
And the worst part about it is the people who are wanting to get to the top are spending so much time trying to make sure everybody else doesn't, that they don't get anywhere either.
All the bad mouth someone. The thing is, there is people out there that belong on the top, I feel. I see a lot of just ordinary people that work really hard at this that should have a show. They actually should have a show. Now, would I want a show now? No. I did it for so many years. I don't want to go back. I know it's like, it's not, what they don't realize, people don't realize when you're on the road, one, you better have a partner with you that likes what you're doing. Because it'll kill your marriage, kill one of mine. So it will kill your marriage. If you're gone and you're filming and you're investigating constantly and your partner's not into it, they're happy you're out and doing it, it's your hobby, but if they're not into it, it takes a toll. When you're away from the family and kids, it can take a toll.
Yes,
So be careful what you wish for. You eat wrong when you're out in the road. You eat wrong. Dave's about to have a baby here for us. So just health issues. It gives you health issues, and I think that's pretty much caused one of my heart attacks that I had back in 2015 was filming the show and eating out constantly at restaurants, eating the wrong food, and not only that, being diabetic. And what do you do for energy? You eat sugar, right? So I'm eating sugar. I'm not watching my number, not taking care of myself. Boom, what happens? Dead. Then come over to get all the paddles. Bring you back. But otherwise, there's going to be times you might not come back. So there's that. There's the flooding of the paranormal conventions. There's different ways of people, the way they investigate now. Some don't believe that's the right way. There's a lot of demons out there now, which for 20, right? Watch this one of the, doing this. I don't want to say, I'll go there with the 20-year mark. Doing this 20 years, but
so I can count some. I was like 5 and had an experience that I've been working since.
That's another thing I want to talk about. Why does everyone mention how long? Who cares how long you're in here? If someone's in here for 2 years, are they not as smart as the person that's been doing it for 20 years?
No.
Why can't that person that's been doing it for 2 years be as smart as the one that's 20 years just because they're intelligent? So I don't go by people's years. I've got some people actually surprise me when I investigate. I'm at the house here, and I'll go downstairs or through the house here with investigators, and I'm like, "How long have you been investigating for?" And I don't even know why I asked that question. Actually, they go, "Oh, I'm just started." I said, "You're pretty darn good at it." The questions they come out with. So
Speaking
it
of that,
really matters how long you've been in it.
well, speaking of that, like you were saying, the flooding of all the different conventions, these people who have been doing it, the quote unquote celebrities of the field, do they even investigate anymore? Because they spend all their time at these cons. Do they even actually go out and do field investigations anymore?
A lot of them still do that I know.
They're probably doing a lot of
Yeah.
local stuff so that they're close to home. But
I'd like to see a lot more home investigating than these big places. I think that's where it started, where we were helping people in their homes and stuff like that, and then it got to the bigger complex place like Trans-Allegheny, Waverly. I mean, there's nothing wrong with those places. I don't want them coming attacking me after this, but it's better. who are you helping when you're there, really? Who are you helping? If someone's got a problem in their house and you can go there and you can help the person and try, maybe it's a squirrel in the house and the kids are scared and there's something in the attic and something got into the house, or it's a pipe or something like that, you can debunk it for them. You can make the house feel safer.
Especially if you have young kids and they're really, really scared
Right.
about stuff. Because I know growing up, we lived in a couple places that were really scary that we lived in, and there was nobody there to explain to you when you're really young
Right.
what's going on. And it's good to have somebody now that actually were willing to talk about it. Because back when I was younger, people really didn't talk about it. They didn't talk about haunted places.
Swept under the rug.
Yeah, it was like, oh, you didn't hear nothing. Nothing happened here. That's the problem. But I think going to homes and investigating in homes and stuff is really neat. I'm looking at our house here. We have stuff happening in there, and I haven't done anything yet. I want to wait until I have more things happening and see if it's just the house.
We're dogs in your house. I think you worry about anyone getting in your house.
Yeah, well, my one dog keeps looking up the staircase, going, "Are you up there?" It's always interesting to see how that goes.
Right.
But I think you're right. I think more home
I
investigations.
think more home investigations. Going out and checking the place out. Sometimes, I like just going out by myself and checking the place, or going with Pam. We just both better put Pam here before we get killed. But going out and checking places out. It's fun doing that when you're just two people, not a big crowd, and you get to walk through. The best part I loved about doing Paranormal After Party when we did our show was going in. There was no lines, so we can get into these museums and these special places, like we did the old Smithfield Ham down in Virginia. That was a great place. Saw the oldest ham in the world in behind the case. But
Ham.
oldest ham, yeah, it's
It wasn't
like
you?
a ham, huh?
And it wasn't you?
No. But we went there, but to see this stuff and investigate it when there's not a whole bunch of people, so you have the quietness. You don't have to worry about anyone wrecking your investigation, walking in on it, or putting some kind of noise into your EVPs or walking. So silence was the best word I'm looking for.
Well, it's like when I come over here to the Hoover and it's just you and Pam and I'm here with you guys and we're sitting there and all of a sudden you hear things and you're like, did you hear that? That's not normal.
This is one of the good places to test our equipment out. That's why we're building equipment, Kevin and I. So when we build the equipment, we come here, we test it, make sure everything works. I don't let things go out before I tested it. So, yeah. Then I have my testers who I give them to test them for me, and then let me know what flaws they find, because I'm sure there's going to be flaws. They're brand new equipment. It's stuff that we're still testing, and I found flaws with some of the stuff I built already. I'm like, I got to change this now. I got to change that. So, but it's going to happen. It's going to happen as we build, but we're just going to get better.
Yep.
Just like when you investigate, you're going to get better. The more you investigate, the better and better you're going to get, and the better your questions are going to be. So,
Well, with that, it is time for our commercial break. So let me say we'll be right back.
Urban Edge, a distinctive edge your tattoo needs. Tascam is considered one of the professionals in audio recording equipment worldwide and committed to providing a reliable product, including audio recorders. Tascam. Create like a pro.
Welcome back.
Let's see. Yes, definitely. I do remember the kitchen door slamming. remember that very much. Stephanie and I were here one time. I don't think you were here at the time.
What Stephanie say? What advice would you give to new
I think
investors?
she meant to say investigators and she typed investors.
What I would
Advice I
tell
would give the new investors is give me your money.
Yeah, hell.
no. What I do is is be patient. Be patient, and I got a lot of people that do EVPs, and they come in, they go, I got this recorder, I don't get nothing on it. I don't believe there's a recorder out there that you won't get an EVP on. Yeah, there's recorders out there like Tascam. You have Tascam. That filters out a lot of the stuff that you think you need.
Right.
But if you go into the settings, you can change a lot of that stuff on these Zoom and Tascam recorders.
Yeah.
And then you'll pick up something like when we were in the caves with Eric and we were filming. We used Tascam, and I was shocked the EVPs we got. We got that. We had played a tune in the caves of Indian flute music. Now, when you played the flute music, it was only flute playing. But when we played it back, there was drums added. And where did drums come from? The Tascam picked up the drum beat in the background. So we have that. That'll be coming out in the show when it starts airing, which will be soon.
Well, and part of that too is familiarize yourself with your equipment. Don't just buy a recorder and think, oh, I have to do is hit play. Learn all its functions. Learn the things that it can do. Because, like you said, you may decide to go into the settings and change a few things around.
Right.
And
So any equipment, it doesn't only have to be your recorder. Make sure your
Of
batteries
course.
are charged before you go. Familiarize yourself before you start your investigation with the building you're in. Make sure you're not going to fall through a floor somewhere or up a staircase that's ready to fall down. So you want to make sure you want to check the place out totally, and then go around with I recommend going around with just a K2 meter and find where your high fields are, where they're coming through. People don't realize I used to go around with the K2 meter, find the highest, get that thing to pin the red, and that's where I do my EVP session because that's where the most energy is. And that's where I ask questions. Spirits need energy to talk, right? So when they go talk, stay where that field is and start asking them questions.
John's got a question there.
Sure. Only pick one. Which paranormal investigator would you investigate with?
Mine's easy. Mine's easy.
You got probably the same one I had. I already went with him, and that was Mr. Zappis.
Absolutely.
And I had a blast with John. We did Boyertown, Pennsylvania, and we did a museum. And the guy actually that was running the event, but was so far behind time that we were supposed to start at 8:00. And I see John getting ticked because it's like 8:30. We haven't even started. These people paid. And it's like 8:45. He goes, Steve, let's just go out and investigate. And we did. And there was this place had we took the people out and there was a diner. We set a diner, that's an actual real diner inside this museum. That they took and saved this diner. It's one of the old stainless steel diners with the red and yeah. So we were inside that in Boyertown. It was really, really cool. And so John he has patience, put it that way. But he has patience of a saint, I said, because there's not only that, he will do anything for anyone. I first met him at Parayuni in Gettysburg, and I walked in and he said my name and hey, come over here and sit by me. And I sat on the couch and we talked. And so that's how we became friends from that second Parayuni or phenomenology or whatever it's called. I'm so used to John's thing. So it's not Parayuni, it was phenomenology at the time. Sorry about that, John. I don't want to use your name or your thing.
What about you? It's mine's obviously John Zappis.
Yeah. John, why don't we Steve?
You know what? It's hard to say. I mean, because I've met Mr. Zappa before and once, and I talked to him for about 45 minutes, and he was a really nice guy to talk to. I think just to really piss off my daughter, I'd have to say the kids from
Destination Fear.
Destination Fear, Project Fear. I would love to
You're
go out with
fired.
them. Yeah,
You're
I'm
fired.
I'm always fired.
You're fired. You're
But I like to
fired.
go out with them. I like to go out with them just because I like to see how they get their stuff, how they get their information, and where they go.
Right. I talked to them at the Penrose Paracon last year, and Dakota was saying that, you know, they try and keep where they're going. They're like the whole basis of their technique is find out at the very last possible second where you're going, so that fear builds up
Mm-hmm.
of not knowing where you're at and what's going on. And then with that heightened sense of fear, out you go. And using that almost as a catalyst and an investigational tool. So they were good young kids, I think. Obviously, John Zavitz would be my first. I'm probably the only person on the East Coast who hasn't.
He hasn't met him yet. He's going to meet him at the bash.
But
No, he's not.
Dave's so busy, we're going to keep him away
No.
from him.
nope,
So,
that didn't happen. But if I had to pick somebody else, I think I might pick Dave Schrader.
yeah,
I
Dave.
think he was a really nice guy. I think the chemistry between him and Shane at the bash that year when they did the auctioning,
Mhm.
I think that was fantastic. Poor Shane is like his wicked boy, but was all good fun. And I think he's a very good mix of investigator and skeptic at the same time, I think.
And another thing, too, it doesn't have to be, he had this, I think the question was celebrity, right?
Yes.
Which
TV paranormal investigator?
I like investigating with my friends, actually. I do. I just like John, Bob, we all go out. It's relaxing. Two, these guys know each other very well, so it's a lot of fun to joke on each other and pull pranks. I investigate, but I have a habit when I investigate. I do take it seriously, folks, but I do pull a lot of pranks. Not fake evidence. I mean, pull pranks on people, like just scare the crap out of them, like jump out at them, stuff like that.
Steve is the king of the investigational jump scare.
Yeah, jump scare. But there's a lot of places I've had evidence that I couldn't figure out what in the heck is going on there.
We've got a live studio guest.
Yeah, we have a live studio. Yes,
Something's here. Who's it, Chucky?
it's
Yeah.
Chucky.
Chucky came to join us.
Come here,
I
Chucky.
mentioned John's name by that.
Come here. Come here. Let's do our celebrity today. And there's Chucky.
There he goes. He's looking for me. That's why. He looks like one of them gophers. You know the
Sonic the Hedgehog.
no what's his name? Tony Phil.
Punk's
Put his
Tony.
nose.
Yeah, but he's got more knows about the weather.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, he's
probably a lot more
better. He's
accurate.
better with the weather.
Yeah.
The thing going back to where we talked about places, and John does a place which is phenomenal, and that's why I'm bringing this up too, because one I've done with Eric, who just gave us a question before, we filmed in the caves. People, if you can find a cave, I'm not saying going into a cave that's dangerous that no one's been into, but a cave system that is actually like a tourism cave sort of thing. And if you can get into one of those places and do an investigation there, it's phenomenal to do. It's something totally different. The mines, like when we go into mines, John, that place is so fascinating. And I tell you, if you can get in there and go there, I love that. John knows I love that place. And he's probably saying, oh, he's plugging me good. But it is a really good, it's amazing. Yeah, no, it's amazing. And the reason why, one, because I grew up there. All right.
Right in the cave?
No, I grew up right down the street from the cave. Actually, and I had an apartment when I was a little bit older, and I got my apartment in Franklin, New Jersey. I actually could walk to them. And they also actually have a museum in Franklin that's not by the caves. It's in the town of Franklin.
Are you
That
talking
has
about
all-
the mines or the caves?
Yeah, the mines.
Oh,
They're mines.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not caves, they're mines. But they have fluorescent rock through that whole town. And my yard used to be able to dig it up, and then you take it and put it under a black light and it glows. Pretty cool.
Huh.
And that's what they have in the caves. You see all these minerals in the rocks. But it's an excellent place to go to.
It says you're all welcome anytime.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely would go back there in a second. John knows I love that place. I got some great evidence out of there. I've been called some names out of there, not by the people, but
That's everywhere.
by the spirits. John will vouch for that. But otherwise, no, cool places. Like, find something different. If you're going to go out and investigate, I got my best EVPs. It doesn't have to be dark. I get my best EVPs during the daytime. Try it sometime. And, you'll get skeptics saying, oh, there's probably someone in the park that was talking, or there's someone there. Believe me, no. If you can get into a real quiet place in a building or in a house, and you get some of the best EVPs. I got the best up in Milford, PA, which I played for a lot of people here. I think I played in field where it said, get out, and I'm watching you and stuff like that. They were all done during the daytime. Like, awesome EVPs. So it doesn't have to be dark. You don't have to have that effect. You can investigate during the daytime. So if you feel that you don't have time to investigate, go during the daytime. If you work at night, go during the daytime if you have time.
Stephanie wants to know, what are your thoughts on investigating in cemeteries, actually investing in cemeteries?
I've investigated cemeteries.
Oh, several.
I don't think it's disrespectful if you're not disrespectful to the spirits there.
Right.
Like, I go
Well,
in there.
that's the big thing.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. To any place you go to, be respectful. Don't if you go in there
Provocation.
and you provoke,
I
you're
don't like that at all.
one. If you're a provoker, you're not an investigator. There's no reason to provoke a spirit. There's no reason for it. They were on this earth at one time, I'm sure. There's no reason for you to provoke them. Provoking, I hate when people provoke, and then if something happens to them, then they deserve it. I hate to say it, you deserve what you get. You ask for it, you get it.
Well, we had that investigation here last weekend.
Mm-hmm. We had a kid downstairs who was provoking, remember?
Two of my daughters, or my one daughter's two friends came. And I told them right from the jump, I said, you need to take this serious, and there will be no provoking whatsoever. And they weren't sure what that meant, so I explained it to them. And I said, I'll be the first one to tell you, I paid for you to do this. I don't care if you do that. I will be the one that tells you to leave.
Mm-hmm.
I don't tolerate that.
Yeah,
they are worthy of your
respect. Have respect.
Whether they were good people in life or bad people.
That when you're investigating, you start provoking, and there's other investigators like me that are out there don't like provoking, and I'm stuck in it, and I got 20 people that I'm investigating with, and then I got to sort of look at them like and say, don't provoke, and then they keep doing it. And say it's not my event, I'm at someone else's event, and I'm like, oh God, do I want to stay in that room with the person? No. I'll leave. I'll walk out. It's so disrespectful to do that. I just don't believe in it.
But
that's
I don't
part of one of the new ways of we were talking about how people changed in the field.
Yes.
That's another thing. Provoke, get them pissed, get the spirits pissed. We want action. We want that.
And then they say
all the ratings.
Demon.
All the ratings are there if you get them to throw something at you or scratch you or, oh, now it's an evil entity. No, it's not.
Networks will do that. I was supposed to do Ghostbait with Bob and Gil. All right. They called me up. Producers called me up and said, "Hey, listen, hey Steve, you've been in the field a little bit longer than Bob. Can you just, if you work with them on the show, can you just calm it down a little bit?" Now I can talk about this because it never happened. But just conversation happened, but I never got on the show. But they turned around, so they said, "Hey, listen, can you calm it down?" See, I can calm it down a little bit, and let him. He's the host. I'll let him do what he's going to do. I like Bob. I have nothing against Bob. And then the producer said to me, "Hey, Steve, say something happens, but it actually didn't happen. Would you go with it?" I said, "Hell no. That's my reputation." Click.
Yeah.
They hung up the phone on me. Click. That was it. I never spoke to them again. It click. That was it. Yeah. So, be careful. Don't sell your soul for this.
Well, that's the reason Jim and I never signed up for it. We had, I think, 2 times someone had called us about a possible show, and both times it was we have no creative control. We had no say in editing. Anything that we captured, any evidence we captured that didn't make the show, ended on the cutting room floor. We would not be able to keep it. Yeah.
I never understood that show anyway, Ghostbait, when they came out with it, because I was like, who's going to go around putting a sack over someone's head? All right, and then you just sit in a room by yourself, right, and then pull a fear out. Are you responsible? That person gets so scared, say, and they have a heart attack. Who's responsible? They signed a waiver, I guess. I'm sure.
Yep.
And plus, did they wash that sack or use a different sack each time? Why does the person has lice or something? You're putting it on your head. Then you see, you're like, I don't know. I was on this show the other day doing an
That's
episode.
a good thing
and I
about
got
not
this
having
sweat.
it here.
Don't worry about it, son. It's just dandruff. Don't worry about those things crawling on your head. Honestly, it was just weird.
What if,
That
what
was
if they
weird.
get so scared they take off running? They've got the sack on their head. They can't see.
Yeah, right.
Right to the
There
wall.
has to be somebody in that room with them.
Well, there's
a cameraman there, so
You would never-
something happen. Yeah.
You would never know. He'd be in there dark, probably in some little cubby hole somewhere. You know,
Yeah, I remember when that show came on. I was kind of like,
I just never understood it. Why would you put a sack over someone's head, put them in a room, just to get fear numbers? I mean, that's a lawsuit waiting to happen. You know, it's like, I don't care what network you are. You killed the guy. I would have farted in a sack. Yeah, definitely. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, that's
That was my idea for the show. They didn't like that.
But I mean, there's a lot of shows that were out there that were really comical. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want people get mad at me about that. But our show was comical. I admit, I take the beating. I take the beating from people. They tell us, hey, listen, Paranormal Active was this. You know what? The thing was, we had fun doing it. We had a blast doing it for 6 years.
So they say it lasted 6 seasons.
6
so
seasons,
it couldn't
yeah.
have been that bad, right?
Yeah, and actually, it came down to New York City, and we went there. Well, we were supposed to go there, and we never made it there. We were told just before we got there that we weren't the ones picked. But it was between us and Ghost Brothers. They were picking for a new episode show, and they went with Ghost Brothers. Thank God they did, because then it was, I think, 2 weeks after that decision, I had my heart attack in 2015, and that was it. Pretty much did. My Paranormal After Party sort of crash was one. What happened to me with the heart attack in recovery time. It took so long that when you have a contract, you have to have 13 episodes to. We got someone through a stained glass window waving at us. That one it goes. But anyway, you have to have 13 episodes loaded up to Fox. So every Friday we'd film all weekend, go to Thursday, upload to Fox, CW, MyNet, and have them air. And you better have them going. So we can do that. Oh, who's here? Come say hi.
Say hello.
Come stop it. Come here. Hey, Pam's in the room. Hold on. Let's get Pam on camera a minute. Pam, come here. Come on. Come say hi to
Get
Pam.
over here, Pamela.
We can sneak you in.
Hi, Bubba.
Oh, you're from nowhere. Nice and clear. Nice.
Am I?
You're fired.
There she is.
Can you see her, folks?
They can.
I hope you all were keeping them in line. Just kidding.
So far.
That's why Charles came in the room.
Yeah.
Hey, Bubba.
So we got John on here. John's telling people he's going to fart in the sack and put it over people's head.
John Larson.
No, John Ruggiero.
He was in here earlier, though. He said, see you this weekend. And then we were distracted because
Your top
that started.
bucket list locations.
That?
That
I already
press
named one.
was swinging on.
One would be Sterling Mines. I do. Another one would be. Where's that? Burnbrae Mansion is another place I love doing. St. Albans.
Iowa.
Yeah, we're going to go to Villisca House soon. That's another one. We haven't been there yet, but we're going. Trying to think what else. I'm not a big one for the big place. That's why I've never gone to the big place. I've never been to Waverly. I've never been to Trans-Allegheny. And I just sort of stayed away from those places, not because, to me, they're just overdone. You know, I want to go, I'd rather go to a place, someone's home, like I said, and investigate someone's home that no one's ever done. So I want to see what I can find there myself. And it's more exciting to me. My adrenaline gets going than to go into a place and say, okay, folks, welcome to so-and-so. And down on room 17 is where little Timmy comes, is heard saying, I don't care. I don't like to go to places where no one's done. And the United States is huge. There's so many places. Why go?
Yeah.
to the same place, and do stuff. Investigate places that haven't been investigated.
Like, I don't even know if it's still there, but you remember the story that Truman Capote wrote about in Cold Blood, right?
No. Never
You
heard of
don't know who Truman Capote is?
I know who he is, but I don't remember it.
I don't
The
know.
book he wrote in Cold Blood was about the guy, and he was with a teenage girl, and they killed her family and lived in the house for like a week, and then went on a killing spree.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to go to that house just to see
If there's anything there.
if there's anything there. Yes.
Hmm.
I know it's not there anymore, but
Whatever.
there's a post office there now in Chicago where H.H. Holmes' murder castle was. I would love to check that out. I wonder if that, if that post office has anything that gets caught on camera, and the supervisors are like, don't tell the mail carriers about this. We'll just delete that camera footage. I mean, things like that. These historic places. I would love to be able to go and see the different places where Jack the Ripper murdered his victims.
That's actually interesting. I did go see that when I was over in London.
Renfrew Park is right here in Waynesboro.
Yeah.
Andrea just put up. Supposedly, 2 daughters died there. Am I correct, Pam? Yeah,
Yeah.
two were scalped.
They were with Scott.
Yeah, scalped. The weird thing about Renfrew Park is when you go there, there's no mention or anything, a plaque or anything stating that these 2 girls
We're murdered.
were murdered there.
Huh.
And
That's where they have any notification of what happened there.
exactly.
They're trying to make it
I went.
Disneyland.
Yeah, well, it's like they don't want
Don't. I guess maybe for that reason
they
they
don't
don't want
want to publicize it.
to publicize it, but that's what it's named after. Renfrew Sisters. So it doesn't make sense to me why we have a name in our town of a park, but the story's not told. What was that?
Oh.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
look at the great stuff we've got doing the pass, Monterey Pass.
Yes.
Mhm.
Which up until you and Pam got here,
Well, that's
and
another
Nestle
thing.
Mung, none of that had been investigated.
Yeah, and that's a battlefield, and
Right.
it's unheard of actually to get on a battlefield. To investigate a battlefield, I think Antietam allows you, but don't you have to go with a guide? I believe. Yeah, Pam's in here, so I can ask her.
We do have a guy going with us to Monterey Pass, but that's because they love what we're doing.
Right, yeah, they join us because they investigate with us, but in the museum. But yeah, to get on a battlefield is amazing to go out and check out that. So that's upcoming. We've done a little investigating. We have not covered all of Monterey Pass yet. When I get tired out quick with my heart, so I can't go as far as people go up. It's all an incline. You climb, you climb, you climb, you climb, you climb. And
Did you see John got his piece of equipment and he said he loves it?
oh, John, honestly, if there's anything that you think should be changed, I greatly take your input. That's why we build, we hand it out for you to test. So we know there's other things that you think can be made better with it. Let us know. Yeah, no problem. Any other questions on here?
I think we all should take a trip to the mines this summer.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Going. I already
Very
told him
fun.
on here. I will not miss Sterling Mines. I love it.
That'd be fun to go see.
If you've never been there, you gotta go there.
It's amazing.
It's
Been
amazing.
there.
It's amazing, and the history behind it. John,
Gotta watch
you're
out.
on here. How many guys passed away in there? Was it 70? I'm not sure. I don't want to say the wrong number. I believe 70 people were 70 workers were trapped, or it was 70 that
They
had
said it
died.
was great.
Yeah.
They said, let's do it. You're all invited.
Yeah, I'm hoping we're probably on a delay with him. I just want to see if he knows the number, how many guys had passed away in the
By the
mine.
way, for all those watching, John is actually John Rosario of New Jersey Paranormal.
And he has an event coming up. What's John's date, Pam? I don't have
First
it.
weekend in November.
First weekend of November. John, you can post your date up there if you like. 79 recorded.
Director
Nice.
said it's over 300.
How many people died then?
You could just feel it too when you walk in. Just like all eyes.
I got to tell you a little quick story. I went there with John, right, and Chris and everyone, and we're all investigating, and I had to go use the toilet. So I take off. And then one of these guys, maintenance guys, goes, hey, you don't have to go, because when you go in the cave, and the mine, I mean, there's a track that goes down in there, like the cart,
Right.
the railway track. So you walk along it. So the guy goes, do you know where they are? I said, they're over on this side. He goes, well, why walk all the way in there? Go through this door over here. So I go in the door, because there's a light switch on the wall when you walk in. So I go in, and I click the lights on, right? So I thought it only lit up the walkway I was walking, because I didn't have a flashlight. So I'm walking, right? I'm walking. All of a sudden the lights go out. Click. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, what the hell? So I go all the way back to where I was, feel my way through this slime wall, hit the light back on, right? And I start walking again. And now these guys are in a different part of the mine. I go, how are these lights coming on? They're going like this. We're not turning on. They're putting it back on again. And we did that fine. I hear something. I don't know. These guys, I think a cell phone went through.
No, there's no cell phone reception.
Whatever these guys, they yelled or something to me, and I'm like, "Is that you?" And then they came and met me with flashlights because I was just in the dark. But it was so much fun. That's what I'm saying. When you and your friends are investigating and you do something like that, they're wondering why lights are coming on, and I'm wondering why they're going off. And I think and I'm yelling at the spirits. I'm going, guys, come on, it's not funny. I don't have a flashlight with me, right? I have to go back to this wall and turn it back on. But it was great. It was great. That's why I love that place. It's just amazing there. Especially, investigating something that you grew up around and never got to go in, and now you can get in, because back then when I was there, the mines were active, and now they're not active, so you can get in there now. So
That's very cool.
Yeah,
I think we're getting down to
We got
the
about
wire here.
2.5
Any other
minutes
questions before we?
before we call it a night and I go home and get ready to go to work.
Yeah, you do. So 79 guys. Wow, place is amazing.
Oh, and another place I want to get to, just because I haven't been there, and that's, even if not for the investigational part, just the historical part, is Fort Mifflin. I have not been there.
Oh, that's cool too. Yeah.
And I gotta say something. I like the tone of this podcast that you guys are doing, because this is what we're about as a field. Talking, laughing, reminiscing, and just getting together and networking. That's what it's about.
We'll have guests on soon. We're gonna.
No, I like it.
We just want to make sure our sound worked this weekend before we had a guest on. And we're probably gonna have a problem when hopefully not, because we got Tascam with us. We got the new Tascam studio coming. It's just a matter of when it arrives. So when that arrives, we're using it right now, folks. You want a cheap studio unit? I'm going to plug Tascam here quick. We use the US Studio 42. They're cheap. They're not expensive. I think they're anywhere from, how much were they online? $49?
$49.
I think they're $49. You can do sound effects like
You're fired.
Self-destruction sequence initiated.
So there's stuff like that we can do. You can put anything you want in these 3 Pong buttons here. They call them Pongs. You just put your sound effects in there. You can use them throughout the show. You can call people names. You can do anything you want on here. I can turn him into a woman, change his voice.
He would like that.
There's a lot of stuff you can do with this. So highly recommend Tascam products. Dashcams too, Rove camera. We use them on our show, me and Eric, to film our out in the dark show that we're doing. So that's our road footage. We take that from Rove, clearest image from your dash. And we also have our sponsor, Stacy from Urban Edge.
Yep.
And she sells excellent tattoo products. So if you have tattoos and you need to care for them.
And if you don't have tattoos, see your husband Dale.
Yep.
He'll hook you up.
And I think next week we'll talk about some of the cons that are coming soon. That'll be out there. Stay tuned for the information on the bash. Probably have that up tomorrow, what's going on, and get your room. If there's 10 rooms left, you're lucky. You got to call the Aspire Hotel and get that. Oh, you don't have the banner running tonight, dude.
Which one?
the banner on the bottom. And ticker, you didn't put nothing in.
Saw the hotel for the first time last night. That hotel is
Rocks,
huge.
doesn't it?
Oh yeah,
That place is huge. I mean,
there's a number for the Eisenhower to come up. Yeah, if there's, it says 15 rooms. I doubt it. There's probably 6 rooms left, if that. And then you're on your own. You know, there's other hotels in the area, so don't think you can't get there. But you can. You can stay at Dave's house. Dave will put you up. Kevin will put you up.
Put
So,
them up as a.
all right, we're over our time limit, folks. Like I say, you're out and about. You see a veteran, thank them. Thank them for their service.
Yep.
So have a good night, folks.
And we will see you next week.
have a great one.